Salutations and welcome to Dose of D-Pad, the swag capital of the world. If you like the tune that played at the beginning of the show, it's called Moon Over the Castle, the theme song to the PlayStation exclusive racing series, Gran Turismo, and the version played was a remix from Gran Turismo 5. This week has been quite busy as I'm now the owner, lead writer, and editor-in-chief of the newly established B10.com. That's b-ten.com, the domain of which I purchased 2 days ago and now have 11 writers working for me voluntarily. So thanks to everyone who made the site possible, and to those listening, head on over to b-ten.com for all of your desired meat-themed technology and entertainment news. And be sure to check out the About Us section to learn about our goals and perhaps even throw a donation our way using the safe and practical PayPal link posted in that section. And today I also have a special guest with me, my sister, who knows little to nothing about gaming, but that's a lot more than nothing at all. And so here is Grace Carey.
Woo!
Just here, say a little something. Say a little reaction.
I'm here to react.
She's here to react because she plays Sims 3.
You know what? Shut your mouth, boy.
Dose of D-Pad calendar of upcoming events. Okay. I've already recorded this once, but I'm gonna try it again because it recorded absolutely no audio. On Tuesday, May 21st, we're gonna have our Xbox announcement. Well, we're not going to have an Xbox announcement, but I'm going to discuss the Xbox announcement that had taken place earlier that morning, and I'm supposed to have a guest co-host on here, but I'm not sure if that's going to work out or not. Hopefully it does, and me and him are just going to discuss like what happened earlier that day, and what the future of Xbox could possibly look like after this event takes place. On Friday, May 24th, I'll be having my B10 official podcast, Arrested Development special, which is not going to be on here. It is going to be on my alternate podcast, alternate tech podcast, which can also be found on the site b10.com, b-ten.com. Go to podcasts, and you can see both our archives of Dose of D-Pad as well as B10 official podcast. On Wednesday, June 5th, we'll have our E3 predictions episode, which I'll predict what is exactly what I believe is going to take place at E3 5 days later on June 10th. On Wednesday, June 12th, which may eventually become June 11th if everything goes as planned. I kind of want to have a Tuesday thing that week. I'm going to have a Jack and Daxter E3 discussion episode, which I'll be playing Jack and Daxter collection on Vita while commentating about what took place at E3 2 days earlier, or 1 day earlier if all goes as planned. On Friday, June 14th, I'm going to have some kind of special based on The Last of Us. Not sure what that might be yet. I'm thinking of getting an account on Twitch TV and hooking up my EasyCap to the PS3 and doing a live stream gameplay podcast or broadcast, I guess, and commentate on what exactly my thoughts are on The Last of Us. What I've been playing. This is my third time recording this section. I have no idea what's going on with my mic or software, but anyway, I've been playing God of War 3 over the past week, as well as God of War Chains of Olympus, and both games are great, and I like them, and I haven't played a whole lot of games because of the establishment of the site, and so forth, and so on. And Chains of Olympus is great. I love it on Vita. I'd love to see a full Vita game, God of War Vita game built for the Vita itself, and God of War 3 is awesome, but I'd rather see something like that on Vita because it's kind of something I like to play in quick bursts rather than for hours straight. So, top ranking games of the week. This week's top ranking games are, number 1 is Metro Last Light on the PC. I've heard good things about it. I've heard bad things about it. Most of the bad things I've heard about it are regarding the good things, are in regard to the good things. People complaining that reviews aren't good enough when really it's still a good game. It's just not anything revolutionary or life-changing. But I've heard it's good. I don't really know much about it at all, other than it's good. And it should be played on PC. Next up, number 2 is Metro Last Light on Xbox 360. Number 3 is Strike Suit Infinity. I've never heard of this at all on PC, but it's got a 72% on GameRankings.com. Number 4 is Fire Emblem Awakening for 3DS. Number 5 is Deadly Premonition, the director's cut on PS3. I've heard that's one of the best bad games ever, because it's not a good game, but there's something about it that's just wonderful. And number 6 is Metro Last Light on PS3. Number 7 is Poker Night 2 on Xbox 360. Number 8 is Soul Sacrifice on the Vita, which I've heard is a great Vita game, but don't buy a Vita for it. Number 9 is Injustice Gods Among Us for PS3. And number 10 is Slender the Arrival, which I still have not heard a thing on since its release. Direct Xbox. Xbox news is huge this week because the new Xbox is being announced next week at Microsoft's conference in Redmond, Washington at 1 o'clock Eastern or 10 o'clock Pacific in the morning. The Pacific time is in the morning, the 1 o'clock Eastern is in the afternoon, and I'm going to be covering it on my podcast later that day around 5 or 6. But anyway, BioShock Infinite has shipped 3.7 million copies. That's an awful lot of copies, but it has nothing to do with Xbox. I just didn't know where to put that news story. But yeah, that's great for Irrational Games, because I know they worked hard on that game for years, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. The end is great. Plenty of plot twists, plenty of atmosphere in that game, plenty of cinematic value. Microsoft is going to be unveiling their new Xbox console next Tuesday, in which they've begun production on their temporary venue, which is a tent. They're having it in a tent after Sony famously held their event in a giant stadium. Microsoft is going with a tent. Cool. PlayStation Nation. In PlayStation news, oddly enough, we have actual news this week. Gran Turismo 6 was announced today to release on the PS3 during the release window of Holiday 2013. And I'm going to pronounce a Japanese name now, and it's going to butcher the entire Japanese culture, but I apologize in advance for that. Gama Sutra Shahid Kamal. Oh god, that's awful. Senior Business Development Manager at Sony has commented on PlayStation Vita sales, claiming that sometimes you have slow starts. Now let's think about that for a second. If you're running a marathon, a slow start is something like, I don't know, a minute late or so. But no, Vita's completely different, because PlayStation Vita has been on sale for over a year now and has sold less consoles than BioShock Infinite has sold games. And that's saying something, because when a console sells less than a game, you know you're in trouble. And yesterday at Best Buy, side note, yesterday at Best Buy, or actually on my email, I received a few emails that claiming that my copy of The Last of Us Survival Edition was ready for in-store pickup. So I went to Best Buy and tried to pick it up, thinking that maybe I got lucky and got a AAA action title that's like the most anticipated game of the year a month early, thinking, maybe that's possible. But no, it was just a piece of paper that Best Buy thought was a game because their employees are stupid. JK, I think it was something to do with their systems and their computers and whatnot. But I am not getting The Last of Us yesterday. So, also Naughty Dog has completed The Last of Us in other news. And that's good news, that they completed The Last of Us the day after I was supposed to get it from Best Buy, apparently. A supposed PS4 commercial script has been leaked. And hold on, let me try to go to this link that I posted that I have not been able to read out loud yet. Okay. So the script says this: "Who are you not to be great? You with the imagination of a brilliant child and the powers of an ancient god. Who are you to be ordinary? You who could get away with murder or raise the dead. Who are you to be anonymous? You whose name should be spoken in irreverent tones, in irreverent tones, or in terrified whispers. Who are you to be afraid? You who can serve as a judge and jury while hoarding infinite lives. Who are you to be a slave of the past? You can travel time like the oceans and rewrite history with a single word. Who are you to deny greatness? If you would deny it to yourself, you deny it to the entire world." Following this is "Greatness awaits. PlayStation slogan will supposedly appear." And that is the commercial script for the PlayStation 4 that is rumored currently, but it gives me goosebumps to even read it. So I'm excited to see how this commercial turns out. And it's probably real, since Sony today has trademarked the slogan, "Greatness awaits," which is a pretty cool slogan, if I must say so myself. A little cliche, but it's a cool slogan overall. Dust 514 is finally available after, I think it was years of production. And this, I don't know if anyone really cares about this game, but it is free, and it's really complicated, and it plays cross-platform with the PC game Eve, if you're interested at all. Leave luck to heaven! And for Nintendo news, Insomniac, the developer of, I believe, Ratchet and Clank, has claimed that the Wii U is current gen, which is coming from someone who develops for PlayStation only, which makes sense. I don't know. Wii U, in my opinion, is current gen technology, but is considered a next gen system. When PlayStation 2 and GameCube and Xbox were originally popular, the Wii was considered a next gen console, so I believe Wii U should receive the same treatment. Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures has been announced for release this fall on Wii U, PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. IGN on their Beyond podcast were making fun of this game. I have not seen any trailer footage or anything of the sort from the game, but I'm actually quite interested. I've been following the story of the Pac-Man TV series since they originally announced it. I think it sounds cool. Reminds me of Pac-Man World, the series that was like started on the PlayStation 1 and then moved on to PS2 and PSP and I believe DS. I always like those games. I'm interested in the TV series as well because it is in stereoscopic 3D, which most television programs are not broadcast in 3D at all. And I have the PlayStation 3D display, so I'd like to try out watching an actual show in 3D. Hopefully it's not complete crap. New Pokemon and details have been announced for Pokemon X and Y. There's like 3 new Pokemon and like random details, like you can ride your real Pokemon. It like shows up as you riding like a Pidgey when you're flying, and it doesn't make sense, but I think it sounds interesting. I'm probably getting X or Y. I haven't decided which one yet, but I'm getting one of the two in October when it releases this fall. Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move is now available on the 3DS eShop. Haven't heard anything about this game other than it does exist. That's about it. Ace Attorney 5 will be releasing in North America and Europe digitally this fall. I've heard that's a great series. They were supposedly making a movie about it not too long ago, but it was canceled, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on whether or not it was going to be a good movie. Scribblenauts Unmasked has been announced for Wii U, 3DS, and PC, and will feature every DC character ever. Now, that DC does not stand for downloadable content. It is, actually, I'm not sure what it stands for. It's Detective Comics. DC Detective Comics. It's going to have Batman and Superman and every DC character ever on it. I'd like to see that be possible, but it color me interested, for PC at least. Discussion topic of the week. And this week our discussion topic is, what will Microsoft unveil next week? Now, what will they unveil? Contemplating processing. They will unveil the new Xbox, of course, and they will show the hardware. They will show the controller. They probably won't show much about games because that's about all they have to show at E3 is a couple of exclusive games, and then they'll have something about Call of Duty. Possibly Call of Duty will be exclusive to Xbox next-gen wise. I don't know if there will be a PS4 version of Call of Duty Ghosts, but I really, really don't care. And I don't know what else they'll announce. They're gonna have it's gonna be an entertainment box. It's going to be streaming Netflix and streaming whatever Microsoft is coming out with. On Podcast Beyond, they mentioned something interesting. What if the next Xbox had cross-save and cross-buy and cross-play with maybe like a laptop with Windows 8 or something? That would be cool. Or like a desktop, or like your computer and your Xbox would cross-play. That would be cool. Cross-play, cross-buy, cross-save. That'd be awesome. Like, I'd love to do that. But, I mean, I don't know if I'd get a next-gen Xbox just to do that. I probably would not. But, I'm interested in seeing that. Also, the 360 now has Twitch TV, I think. Today it became available. And I feel like that's going to be a big thing with the next Xbox, is having that Twitch TV availability right in front of you. So they might have something to say about that. It's hard to tell what Microsoft is up to. What I hope they have is more exclusives. I hope they have. I hope they. I know they won't, but I would hope for them to get rid of the Xbox Live Gold, or at least make some of the Gold exclusive content inclusive, and I don't know what they could do. They can't do. There's not much they could do to interest me personally, because I'm really into PlayStation exclusives. If you know me personally, then you know I love Uncharted. You know I love my Jak and Daxter, my Ratchet and Clank, my Gran Turismo, my Journey, my Infamous. I can't get that stuff with Microsoft, so maybe they'll announce some new IPs that color me interested. And also, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, they need something cool like Knack for the PS4. Knack looks awesome. Like, I would love to. I can't wait to play Knack. That's one of my most anticipated games this year now. And I don't know. PS4 is going to stream PS4 games to my Vita. I don't know what Xbox could do that PS4 won't be able to do for me, or anything appealing the Xbox would do. But also, another thing at Beyond they mentioned was that the new Xbox will probably sell more because it's directed towards a more mainstream audience, whereas the PS4 is built for core gamers, and that's probably true. And that's why I'm interested in PS4. So, for the general public, Xbox Nextbox, or Xbox Infinity, will probably be the next Wii in terms of like mainstream appeal, because of its video streaming functionality and utilization. And it won't be focused as much on games, but it will focus a lot. It will put focus on a more broad thing, more broad subject, I guess. So that's what you have to look forward to for next Tuesday, when we have our podcast that night at some point, covering what events took place earlier at the announcement. And we'll talk about everything. We'll talk about the results on this podcast. So be there or be square. Thanks for listening to the show today. Don't forget to head on over to b-ten.com or b10.com and check out our newly established site and get all hipster, because it's a fairly underground site. You can even access using a Mac at a Starbucks, but unfortunately our site doesn't support typewriters or cassettes. And now I'm going to play a little ditty I like to call the Office theme song, from the American sitcom The Office. Speaking of which, is airing its final episode tomorrow, and head on over to b-ten.com or b10.com and even check out an article about that I'm working on. Oh yeah, and remember, in the words of Gama Sutra Shahid Kamal, Senior Business Development Manager at Sony, sometimes you have slow starts.